How's it going, YouTube? This is Skul, and welcome to my game room / office / whatever you want to call it, 2026. So in 2025, I moved into a house. We've been in an apartment for the last several years since moving back to Nebraska. Now we're in a house, and now finally I've decided, beginning of the year, it's the perfect time to show it all off. So let's go ahead and start with this room. We actually have two rooms here. We got this room that we're in right now, and then this room, which is my office. But first things first, let's talk about games. So the center point of this room continues to be this 32-inch CRT, which I use to play all my older systems. So NES, Atari 2600, sometimes PlayStation 1. My Dreamcast currently goes on here because I don't have an upscaler for it yet, so it's composite only. Guys, this is amazing. Plus, this is the best way to play NES games because you can actually use the gun to play it. I don't have Duck Hunt set up right now, but you can take my word for it. This is amazing and I love it so much. Right beside this, of course, is my flat screen monitor, and this is where my OSSC is plugged into. And any console that I have that uses RGB SCART or VGA or even component goes through my OSSC into this monitor and plays everything at HD resolution. It's so amazing to play games from 30 years ago on a panel like this, and they all look incredibly sharp. If you guys want more information on how all of this works, I highly recommend My Life in Gaming YouTube channel. Beyond that, let's go ahead and actually look at all my consoles. So, unfortunately, due to space constraints, I'm not able to actually have everything hooked up all at once. So, all these consoles are console only right here. I'll show you where I keep all my cables and stuff for them later. But yeah, I found that just stacking them like this in a very orderly fashion is an easy way for me to display them and have them readily available, but also have them in a small enough space that they're not taking up any space at all. Plus, they make for great display pieces. So we've got my PlayStation 1 here that's been modified with an X station. And I've got the Mem Card Pro here as well, which is like, it's a memory card with near infinite save states. We got my Xbox One X right here. This is the One X, yeah, okay. We got my Sega Genesis here. I do have the 32X as well. Mega Everdrive Pro is awesome. We got my Atari Jaguar here with a Jaguar, what is this called? The GD drive, the game drive, Jaguar game drive. It's like an Everdrive for the Jaguar. Got my Sega Saturn here with the Satiator. We got my PlayStation 2 in here with a hard drive and free McBoot. It's been a goal of mine to make every single one of my consoles, all my retro consoles anyway, be able to play an entire library at any given point. So I've been working really hard on trying to make that happen. Now, not every single console is at that point yet. For example, my Super Nintendo here does not yet have, I think it's an FX pack, FX Pro, the Everdrive for it. It doesn't have one of those yet. But I do have the Super Game Boy 2, and guys, playing Super Game Boy 2, is playing Game Boy games on this screen with the OSSC upscaling everything, it looks amazing. I've also got my Wii and my Wii U. This is the Wii U that actually works. My other one doesn't, unfortunately. Then bottom shelf here, got some odds and ends. So we got my my GameCube with the Game Boy player attached. Wow, that looked a lot less dusty up until this minute, didn't it? Got my Xbox 360 right here with the HD DVD player attachment. Yes, I collect HD DVDs and I love playing them. I'm thinking of actually hooking this up downstairs to my modern television. Over here we have my OG Xbox, my Analog Duo, and my Atari VCS. And these are some PlayStation Move controllers that I use to control my droid. And you're probably wondering, what droid? Well, I have a life-size R2-D2. It's downstairs because that thing's heavier than I am, and getting it up here would be a pain. This TV alone was a pain, so I keep him downstairs. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll go ahead and show him and a lot of the rest of my collections off in a future video. And then over here on this shelf are where all of my systems are that I play on this big television. So, well, I shouldn't even say that because first of all, we've got my RGB modded N64 here, which is the one that's playing on that flat screen right there. I've got my childhood N64 right here. This is completely unmodified, and whenever I feel like playing N64 games on my CRT, that's the one I use. One shelf down, we got my NES and my PS1 PSONE. That is what I plug into this TV. It's nice having multiple systems of the same system, because then I get to play them on multiple screens just depending on my preference. So sometimes I feel like playing PlayStation 1 games on a CRT like the olden days. Sometimes I feel like playing it on a modern flat panel with razor sharp pixels. It just depends on my mood. And when you have multiple PlayStations, you can do that. Below that, we have my Atari 2600. My Sega Dreamcast it's my newest system. I got this last year when I was in Japan. And my Intellivision. There's still a lot of systems that I would like to get. My biggest one that I really want to get is a ColecoVision. But as you can see, I don't really have much space left for them anyway, so there's not much of a point. I also have a lot of newer systems that are either in that room or they're hooked up downstairs, and I'll get to those in a second. So this shelf here are my display systems. These are the ones that do not work at all. We got a launch model PlayStation 3. I love this thing. It's a beautiful system. Doesn't work worth a spit, but it displays nicely. Got this Sega Genesis, Jungle Green N64, an original N64. Yeah, I got so many of them, don't I? This Tandyvision, which is an Intellivision clone from Radio Shack. I shouldn't even call it a clone. This is officially licensed. It's an Intellivision. It's just Radio Shack's brand of Intellivision, and it's a Tandyvision. I wanted that specifically for one very sentimental reason. My dad was an employee at Tandy back in the day, so this is a bit of a tie to him. And below that is an OG Xbox, which probably works. I just haven't gotten around to going in and fixing the clock capacitor and stuff like that. Let's see, I mean, other than that, the only real stuff to talk about in this corner of the room are up here on the top. These are all of my console boxes. I've been doing my best to keep every single box for every single console that I possibly can. Most of them are here, not all of them, but most of them are here, and you can just see a wide variety of stuff. Like I got my Jaguar box, my Super Nintendo box. This right here is a complete in-box Pikachu-themed Nintendo 64. The N64 is inside of there too, it's awesome. But I've also got random stuff here like this Intellivision IntelliVoice. Over here's my box for my Vita, my Quest 2. I just love console boxes, guys. It's just so fun to collect them, and I'm glad that I live in a place where I can actually display them like this. Speaking of display items, let's go around the rest of the room. So, this here is a Toys R Us banner that was actually hung in a store, I believe in Puerto Rico, back in 2000 and 2001 when Pokemon Gold and Silver first released. And now it's mine, and finally I can hang it up again. I love this so much. If you're wondering what's behind this, it's just a window that has been covered over with blackout curtains. I put blackout curtains in every single window in my space up here to protect my stuff and to give myself some better light control. If you guys have collectibles, blackout curtains are what you're going to want. Beyond that, I just got this blanket here, which is covering up a lot of boxes. That is still a lot of stuff that I am unable to display. All kinds of like pop vinyls and even video games. You're going to notice I don't actually have a lot of space to display video games themselves. Part of the reason I've been investing in ODEs and EverDrives. Hopefully one day I'll figure out a better solution to actually put games on a shelf so I can play them if I want. But in the meantime, I do have the games that I'm most likely to play out and ready to go. And I'll get to those in just a second. So next up we've got this Nintendo sign here. This is from Rose Colored Gaming, and they have not made this in years. I don't know if it's a trademark issue or what it is. They used to make signage for Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, Sega, everything you could think of. and no more. And I don't even know where you could get anything like this anymore, so I'm glad to have that. This display here are my mission patches. So space exploration is my greatest passion. You guys see this? This is a mission patch for the next crewed mission to the moon.
Glare.
Oh, sorry. This is a mission patch for the next crewed mission to the moon. This is set to launch in February, next month. No one's talking about this, but nobody's gone to the moon since the 1970s, and we're about to go back, and it excites me so much. Anyway, so my mission patches, for the most part, are for all of the American crewed space missions. So I've got a certain pattern here: Mercury, Gemini, Apollo. This is where the Artemis missions will go. Crew Dragon, Starliner, and then all the space shuttle stuff and the miscellaneous things here. This right here is a piece of a Cargo Dragon spacecraft that actually flew to the International Space Station a few years ago. I am holding a piece of a spacecraft in my hand. This is a space patch that was signed by William Shatner. It was the...
Oh my gosh. There.
Sorry, this is his mission when he went to space. He signed it. So I got some random other stuff here. But anyway, so this is what that is. And whenever there are spacecraft currently in space, whenever there's a US space mission in space, the patches go in these photo frames. Right now there's not. The crew that was at the space station last night just had to come home early due to a medical emergency. They used to be in this one right here. My hope, my belief is that someday soon, all three of these will be filled with 3 different space flights of people who are in space. The station, free orbit around the Earth, or especially lunar missions. It's pretty exciting to me. Below that is my Pokemon Heroes shrine, or at least a part of it. So Pokemon Heroes is my favorite Pokemon movie. Latias is my second favorite Pokemon. I love collecting stuff from Pokemon Heroes. So we got the Pokemon Latios Game Boy Advance from Japan. We got the Latios and Latias plushies here. We've got this figure, and for the life of me right now, I can't remember where it's from. Do you remember?
I think it was from a licensed Pokemon.
Yeah,
Center?
it's licensed. There's this company that makes these figures, and they made one of these two, and I had to get it. In the background there is here. I'll go ahead and pull it out so I could show you. Oh yeah, this is actually 2 things. We got this random thing here, but this is Bianca's sketchbook from Pokemon Heroes, and if you open it up, the very first page is her drawing of Ash and Pikachu. This is my grail of collectibles, like easily one of the top 3 things in my collection. And then behind the Game Boy is my canister of 35mm films. So I've got, I believe this is my trailer for Pokemon the first movie. This is an actual teaser trailer on film from Pokemon the first movie. This one is my teaser trailer for Pokemon Heroes, and I got a lot of random film strips as well, so I don't know how well it'll show up in lighting, but this is actual film from the actual movie.
It's upside down.
Of course it is. that played...
It's from Artist in the Jewel of Light.
Oh, that's from... I have a few random Pokemon stuff in here, but I just love collecting this stuff. It's so rare and so obscure, but I love it so much. So yeah, I've got some Pokemon Hero stuff in there. I've got some random movie 11 and 12 strips in there as well. Anyway, that's my Pokemon Hero shrine, and down here on the bottom shelf are my Pokemon card grails as well. So we've got the Pokemon Heroes Jumbo card that was released only in Japan. This was a giveaway if you went to see the movie in theaters. Speaking of, this is a giveaway if you went to see Pokemon White, Victini, and Zekrom in theaters here in the States. 2011, I went and saw it with my then girlfriend, and I proposed to her afterwards, and now she's holding the camera wondering what she's doing with her life.
You wish.
We've got some... So the last Comic-Con I went to, Veronica Taylor was giving out some custom Pokemon cards. So she gave this to me. I didn't ask for them. I didn't pay for them, but she recognized me from a previous encounter and insisted. So that was pretty awesome. And then we got my favorite Pokemon cards. This, I think, is my favorite Pokemon card of all time. This Latios and Latios Full Art GX. I love this card so much. When I saw it was out, I had to get it. We got my Full Art Latios and Latios EXs from Plasma Freeze, I believe is the set that's from. Got this gold Full Art Hisuian Samurott V-Star. I just liked the card. You know, one of these things is not like the others. And then this, Latios Gold Star. I did not realize how valuable this was until just a few months ago. I've just had it since, you know, I was collecting Pokemon cards in the early 2010s, and yeah, now here it is. Probably the most valuable thing in this room. It might be worth more than everything else in this room combined. Anyway, let's go ahead and look around the rest of the room. So, this closet here is storage. All the video games that are not currently on a shelf and a lot of other random stuff like my other Wii U and my Xbox One. A lot of random stuff. So these boxes are all the video games and video game consoles and collectibles that are not currently on display elsewhere. Hopefully one day I'll be able to figure out a way to display them in here, but until then. Anyway, other than that, this closet's also used for storage for like camping equipment. Got sleeping bags, a tent. Here's my Jumbo Pop I use for my Nick Wilde cosplay. A closet is a closet for a reason, is all I gotta say. So over here we got my Breath of the Wild poster. That was a pre-order bonus if you pre-ordered from Best Buy. I hope to have more posters up on these walls in the future, but it's just not been a priority, so here's that. This rack has all of my controllers. Not much to really say about that. Just got every controller I could ever need, and it looks disorganized, but I know where everything is, and it's just as easy as grabbing something and going over there and using it. All right, let's take a look at my video games. So, starting with this shelf, going down to this shelf, these are my North American Wii U games. I am missing 12. Only 12 of the entirety of the North American Wii U library. So, I don't know when I'll finish it, but it is a goal of mine to finish this library and own every single North American Wii U game. I do have the rarest game.
Quite done.
I know you're not, but I do have Devil's Third. And I will go ahead and make a video later showing off my Wii U collection, as well as my Switch collection, as well as a bunch of other collections that I have. And I'll go ahead and show those off at some point as well. Obviously, the next section is my Switch games. At my peak, I had over 400. I believe now, even after selling a lot of them, I still have over 250. I have most of the heavy hitters. I have most of the big ones. I have a lot of obscure ones. I love collecting Switch games, or at least I did love collecting Switch games when it was relevant, when it was a lot easier to do. I just love the Switch. It's probably my favorite system ever. And over here are my very small selection of Switch 2 games so far. I assume at the beginning of next year this will be a bit bigger. Got some collector's editions of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee right here that come with the Pokeball Plus. Bottom shelf are all my other current gen systems. So we got all my PlayStation 5 games here, PlayStation Vita games here, not quite current gen, but it's a small enough library and there was room I could put it there. All my Xbox games, everything that can be played on the Xbox Series X. And a Porg. Need I say any more? So going back to the top shelf here, these are some of the things that I want to display and that will catch your attention when you first enter the room. So let's see, we got some Pokeballs from Burger King. These are the closest I've ever seen to looking how I would expect a Pokeball would look in real life. These were Burger King kids meal toys when Pokemon the first movie came out. So if you got them, they came with a gold card, and I think there were 6 of them, and a certificate of authenticity. And I have 6 of these spread out throughout my office / game room. Behind those is this Balto storyboard. This is not a reproduction, this is an actual storyboard that was used during the production of the 1995 animated film Balto. It's one of my favorite films of all time. This is a one-of-a-kind piece. I don't have anything like this for any other film / franchise, and I want it there so people can see it and enjoy it. Here are the 5 Disney Infinity figures I have. I never collected Infinity like I did Amiibo, but I got the 5 that I care about the most. So we got Ray from Star Wars, Anna and Elsa from Frozen, and of course Nick and Judy from Zootopia, my favorite film of all time. Behind that is my badge case, and I earned every single one of these badges myself back in the day. This was a fun thing that you used to be able to do at the Play Pokemon program, was if you went to Pokemon League and you played matches every week, you could get badges and a badge case. And that's just a really fun memory from a time back when I was actually like trying to be competitive in Pokemon. Next up is this painting of Mewtwo. This is by Jay Goad, the voice of Mewtwo from Pokemon the first movie, also known as Philip Bartlett. He made this one-of-a-kind piece. When I went to a Comic-Con and I met him, he had this for sale. I had to get it, and now here it is. A painting of Mewtwo by the voice of Mewtwo. You're probably wondering, well, what's the significance of this floppy disk? You 3D printed the save button. No, so this right here is my very first video game of all time. This is the very first one I ever played, and I was able to verify this with my mom. Yeah, this is Snoopy's Game Club. I made a video of it on my channel several years ago where I was exploring it. It's a very simple, essentially a DOS game, but it's the very first video game ever that I ever played, so I had to have it there. Next up's my silver play button. You can tell how long ago I got it because it's the old design. Skul TCG, congratulations for surpassing 100,000 subscribers. And then finally, my Pokemon distribution cartridges. I have 7, various distributions. So the way that Pokemon used to be distributed was you had to physically go to a GameStop during specific days and connect your DS to their network, and you would get Pokemon that way. And I think there were 17 cartridges. I have 7 of them. I have some of the biggest ones. I have the Manaphy distribution event. I have the Arceus distribution event. So I have the shiny legendary beast from Heart Gold Soul Silver. So now if I ever replay those games, or if friends of mine ever replay those games and we want to get in on the distributions, even though they don't exist anymore, now I could do it, and it's completely legit. It's so cool. I haven't actually used them in a few years, but I do have them, so it's nice to know if I ever feel like replaying Heart Gold Soul Silver, I can get myself the spiky-eared Pichu event. I could do Celebi, I could do the shiny legendary beast. Essentially, I can still 100% Heart Gold Soul Silver, which is kind of cool. Okay, final corner of this room. We have my boxed Magnavox Odyssey 2. It is in there, just don't have a reason to plug it in and play it. Underneath that are more games, and these are games that I actually want access to because I use them over there in the other corner. So got all my Nintendo 64 games. We got all my Super Nintendo games down there. These are my Intellivision games. That's what these are. Sega Genesis. I got a tape recorder in here for some reason. I don't remember why. Another box of more games underneath this, I'm pretty sure, are PlayStation. Let me go ahead and actually show that off. That's the whole reason you guys are watching, is because you want to see. Yeah, so here are my PlayStation games, my NES games. Final Fantasy VII, one of my favorite games of all time. I have over 50 PlayStation games, and this is why I'm saying I eventually want to get another shelf to put over here where these boxes are, so at the very least I can display the games in these boxes. It's something that I'm trying to look into to see what the options are, because, well, the number one thing is I don't want to block this window because that's a fire escape. You know, I think the fire marshal would frown if I blocked it. So a lot of it is just trying to figure out a way to have a shelf that can sit in this space but doesn't block the window, or if it does, that I can easily move it out of the way in the event of an emergency. I'll figure it out, and I welcome any suggestions you guys have in the comments. So over here are yet more boxes. We got my boxed Starlink Collector's Edition for the Nintendo Switch, the only Star Fox game that released on the system. This is my box for my Xbox 360. I just don't have any room for it up there. Here are my 4 Nintendo Labos. All of them are still sealed because I never had a reason to open them. Right here is my spare CRT. I rarely need this, but when I do, I'm glad to have it whenever I need an extra CRT, whenever I'm traveling for conventions or for demonstration purposes. So this is nice to have. And underneath it is this box, which is full of all the cables. Let me go ahead and rotate these boxes so I can get to it. This is full of all the cables for those consoles over there. The AV cables and the power cables. So if I ever want to plug in my PlayStation 1, I just grab this. This is the SCART cable. So this is what a SCART connector looks like. And it has the power cable in there. Some of these also have other things as well. So this is my GameCube bag, which comes with an HDMI plug that plugs straight into the component output. Let's see. My Wii U has an SSD in there for some reason. I don't remember why. But yeah, this is where all of my cables are. Every single cable that I need for those systems is in here somewhere. Here's my Genesis with my 32X. Since I don't need it that often, I just leave it in there. So yeah, everything is very neatly organized, and I know where everything is when I need it. Now, I'm sure you guys are thinking, with how much of a hassle it is to get stuff set up, do I even play video games all that much? Well, I'll be absolutely honest. The answer is no, I don't that much. I want to, I just haven't gotten around to it because I've been busy moving in and working on content for YouTube and, you know, having a job. So, but it is nice to know when I do get the itch to game that I can. Everything's set up for that. And I just saw there's one thing I missed. So this is my record player, guys. Mind the dust. So it's just a standard turntable from Sony. I got it for cheap from Best Buy. And here's the setup for it. Right speaker, left speaker, stereo receiver. I love records. I will be showing off my record collection in a future video as well. And whenever I feel like playing them, I just bring them up here, plop it in the player, turn the speakers on, sit down, and it's so nice. It's really fun. That was my first room, my game room. Now it's time to move into my second room, the office. There's still a few gaming related things in here, such as my complete in-box Pokemon main series collection. I am only missing 2 Pokemon games ever, and they're both spin-offs. Otherwise, I have every single main series video game, and I have generations 1 through 7 on this shelf. Every single one of these games is complete with the cartridge, the manual, all the inserts that it would have come with. I love Pokemon. It's my favorite video game series. And this collection took me, I think, 4 years to get, and this was pre-pandemic too. So yeah, I'm very happy to have this. It's why it's displayed so prominently, and you can see it in the background of all my videos. Above that is this playmat of Lily and Lunala, and this was a prize that was given out to people who competed. It was a giveaway from Pokemon Masters EX, the mobile game. I won it, and I am so happy because this is my favorite sync pair in the game. I love Lily. Lily's my favorite character in the entirety of the Pokemon franchise. They made her look beautiful. They have this is an actual playmat that you can take and play the trading card game on. I wouldn't recommend it because this is worth a lot of money. So it resides here above my Pokemon collection. And right here on this wall is my Buster Sword. This is 100% made of wood. I made it myself in early 2020 as a way of passing the time, and because I love Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII Remake was coming out at this time, so I carved this. I made it 100% on my own. I just love doing that kind of thing, so. let's go ahead and show off over here. So, these are my graded video games. And I probably shouldn't have even started over here because these aren't even my favorites. These are the random ones that I have graded that are not my favorites. And it's kind of hard to see what some of them are, like you can't see Bluey very well, but I have only ever graded things that I care about. So even though these aren't my all-time favorite video games, they are still my favorites. These are still ones that I wanted to have a copy brand new forever. I'm not a reseller, I'm not a speculator. I'm never selling these. Well, maybe I will one day, but right now the plan isn't to sell them. The plan is to keep them and display them so that you can look at the shelf and just see, oh, Final Fantasy VII, oh, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Like, just so you know, these are my favorites. I got some random movies there as well. I'll talk about that later. So this shelf right here are all of my CDs. So the first two shelves are my movie soundtracks and a random Fortnite llama. And then everything below that are my video game soundtracks. Video game soundtracks and movie soundtracks are my favorite music genre ever. People are always like, well, what's your favorite song? Well, I love listening to instrumental music from video games and movies. When you get to the bottom shelves here, these are actually my, some of these are music from the Pokemon anime and from Sword Art Online as well. You've got the soundtrack here for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. You've got the soundtrack for Pokemon Sword and Shield. I love collecting Pokemon soundtracks. I love collecting video game soundtracks in general, anime soundtracks. Right here is my complete collection of every single CD released in North America for Pokemon ever, with the exception of Pokemon Live. But that was not released in a retail store. But otherwise, I've got like the classic To Be a Master, got my soundtrack for Pokemon the first movie. I love listening to this. But all the way up through, you know, I've got the Pokemon 25 album, when Pokemon turned 25, which was, man, 5 years ago now. We even got this random single from Katy Perry for Electric. Most people don't even know about this, but I have it. Every single Pokemon CD that was released in North America, I have. And then, of course, we got this shelf here. These are my handheld video games. So top shelf here are my boxes, what few boxes I have. I just realized I've still got the distribution disc for Celebi Pokemon, Pokemon XD. Interesting. Anyway, the rest of these are my handheld video games. And you're probably thinking, what, those all look like DS cases. Well, they are. I made these custom covers from the Cover Project and put them on a DS case, and inside is where the games are. So yeah, every single game here is a video game. Then when you get to Game Boy Advance, I don't even need to cut them out to make them look good. They just fit in the top slot right there. And then of course, when you get to the DS and 3DS cases, that's just, you know, normal. So yeah, this is where all my handheld games are. And as you can see, I cannot fit another single one, which is fine. I don't really collect them all that much anymore. This is just what I happen to end up with. Yeah, so there you go. When we first moved into the house, these two shelves were the very first things that I installed. I just saw this space, I had this picture in my head, and I thought, yeah, that's what's gonna go there. Next up, we've got this beautiful painting of Aerith in her Million Guild dress from Final Fantasy VII Remake. A friend and fan of the channel sent this to me a long time ago, and I love it so much. So it was important for me, even though there's a lot of paintings and posters that I can't put up in my room, I wanted this one. And now every time I'm sitting at my desk, all I need to do is look over and I get to see it. It's pretty awesome. Next up is my desk. This is where I spend most days working hard, and yeah, so here we are. We've got a 4K monitor, we got a 1080p monitor. Having dual monitors is great. There's nothing special about these. I've had these since my very first ever game room tour. Very little about my setup has actually changed since then, but I did get an RGB keyboard. And this is so nice. This is a mechanical keyboard. It's the nicest keyboard I've ever had. Over here, I'm currently playing through Pokemon Silver version, trying to 100% that, so whenever I have a few spare minutes, I go over here, play that. Got another Game Boy here whenever I need to play another game and do some transfers. Got an iPhone here, you always need a spare iPhone for various things. Power bank, got a Pocket Thesaurus whenever I'm writing stuff. It's very nice to have one of these, something physical and I don't have to Google stuff. And a Japanese N5 language learning vocabulary builder book. I got this when I was in Japan. My goal one day is to take an N5 exam and pass it. I want to be at least that proficient in Japanese. So whenever I have a spare minute or two, I open it up and try and learn a little bit, try and retain the information. Yeah. Let's see. Not much else to really talk about over here. So I've got my microphone. This is a Shure SM7B. This is a professional microphone. Whenever I do voiceover in my videos, this is what I use. Let's talk about the computer itself. So I know that this is not going to look the best in the video, but trust me, it's great. So it's pretty much the exact same build that I had in my last game room tour. This is a Ryzen 5800X, a RTX 3070 Ti. Although I do now have 64 gigs of memory in there instead of just 32. And doubling the RAM has been great, and I'm so glad I got that right before prices spiked. So yeah, it's this is a very capable mid-range gaming PC. I can't see myself upgrading anytime soon. It also has 20 terabytes of storage, which is really, really cool. We got my two lights here. Not much to say about that, just two lights. Whenever I need to turn them on, I've got the switch right here for this one, right over there for that one. It's perfectly adequate. Next shelf up are my modern video game systems. So, got my PlayStation 5, my Xbox Series X, my Nintendo Switch 2, my webcam. This is my countdown clock. This is counting down to when Zootopia turns 10 in March. Anyway, behind that is my router. I have a second router upstairs because this house is old. I don't know if you've been hearing all the creaking as we've been walking around, but this house is over 120 years old. So the walls are made of plaster, so I needed another way of getting internet up here. So I invested in a second router. Terrific decision. If you guys ever need your own personal space in your room for extra internet, I recommend a second router, or at least looking into it. Then I got my PlayStation 4. Sometimes there are still reasons to use a PlayStation 4 over a PlayStation 5, if you can believe it. Got my calendar 2026 there. And then up here are some of my favorite collector's editions. So, yeah, I decided if I could only display a few, I wanted to display the ones that meant the most to me, and I decided that that's it. And then over here on this little shelf below this floodlight are my other random stuff. Tons of things plugged into power to charge up batteries and stuff. Got my controller here, which is used for both the Xbox and playing PC games. Got the MetaQuest 2 headset here. Some old phones whenever I need them. Two old Nintendo Switch 1s and several old 3DSs. I've got a 3DS here that is hacked with Homebrew, and another 3DS that has a capture card on it whenever I need it. I know it looks like a mess. I am looking into potentially putting shelves right here on this wall. It's not really a priority though. All right, well, let's keep moving along. So next up is this shelf of all of my Amiibo. I had a complete Amiibo set until the most recent Amiibo I got, Donkey Kong and Pauline from Donkey Kong Bonanza. There's been a lot that have released since then that I haven't gotten because it's just gotten too expensive. But from the beginning of Amiibo existence until Donkey Kong and Pauline, I have every single one accounted for, and I think I'm already missing like 15. They're gotten too expensive, I can't justify it. Plus, I think that this shelf looks pretty complete as it is. Now, there are Amiibo that I will continue to get if they release. For example, we have the 4 Sage Amiibo here from Tears of the Kingdom, so I know that Minoru will come out eventually, and when she does, I am going to want to get her. So there are still Amiibo I will get, but as far as getting every single one, it's just not going to happen anymore. I mean, heck, I even got the Mario Amiibo cereal, but not anymore. Just, oh well, it looks great. And the top are some custom Amiibo that I've gotten over the years. Man, it's kind of hard to decide what to show off next. On the floor are all of my Nintendo Switches. I have 9 Switches and 2 Switch 2s for a total of 11 systems that are capable of playing Nintendo Switch video games. I just, oh, this is just, this is the one I have without a box. It's a Animal Crossing Switch. I don't know. Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
It's an Animal Crossing Switch. I bid on it cheap on eBay. I won. It didn't come with anything other than the system. But anyway. So let's see right here. Yep, still showing off all the Switches.
People want to see.
People want to see. Yes, they do. I love Nintendo Switch, okay? So on the thing above that, this is my Windows 98 machine. It is not currently set up for me to actually use it or anything, but I do have it, and it's constantly there to remind me I could if I wanted. Here are my comic books. So it's just a short box, and I don't think there's much of a need to actually show off what's in there. You guys aren't here for that. I will be making a video showing off my complete comic book collection, though, so be on the lookout for that if you are interested. And then this box right here are my gaming magazines. I only collect Nintendo Power and PSM, and I have nowhere close to all of either of them, but I have a pretty substantial collection. I mean, as you can see, it's all the way to the top of this big cardboard box. I love collecting them. When I lived in Texas, I had a way of actually displaying them on a wall. I don't have the room. I wish I did because I love them and I wish I could display them, but what can you do, right? Anyway, next up is this wall of comics. These are my graded copies of Zootopia. So my eventual goal is to get every single cover from issue number 1, and then the main covers from issue number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 up on this wall so that I can display them. I also hope to get all of them in a 9.8. Got one that's a 9.6, that's annoying. But yeah, I actually have a submission at CGC right now. It's in the middle of getting graded. It should come back in a week or 2. And that'll be another 3 right here. And then I just have 1 row to go. So this is actually almost done. I love Zootopia, if you guys couldn't guess. So I'm glad that I have a place on this wall that I can actually properly display the comics. This closet is not a closet. This is my recording booth. So whenever I need to record anything, I just go in here, shut the door, and make it happen. It is dark, and behind the chair is just yet more storage. But whenever I need to record, I just grab my microphone from over at the computer, bring it over here, bring over a laptop, get my stuff recorded, and this is awesome. I'm able to get some really nice sounding audio out of this. It was really nice when we were looking for a house. It was really important for me to have the ability to set up a recording booth, and I'm glad that I was able to. Let's take a look at the walls. So this here is my Pokemon the First Movie poster signed by the cast. We have Veronica Taylor here, who voiced Ash. We have Eric Stewart, who voiced Brock and James. And we have this by Jay Goad, screen name Philip Bartlett, who voiced Mewtwo. So all of the main cast who survive to this day have signed this poster. It took me about 3 years to get all their signatures, and it was worth it because this is awesome. Next up is this poster for Sword Art Online Progressive, the movie, and this is signed by the main cast as well. So we got Bryce Papenbrook here, who voices Kirito. We got Aneris Quinones, who voices Mito, and Jeremy Lee, who voices Asuna. And guys, they're great. They're just as fun to meet in person as, they're just so sweet. So So those are my signs posters. I actually have another sign poster. I just don't have the room for it for another film. Maybe I'll find somewhere else in the house to put that. So now we have this shelf to talk about. Well, first of all, there's Zippy, my channel mascot. I don't know why so many people think that I got rid of her. She's here. I just haven't had a need to put her in videos, that's all. So she just sort of sits there. I've got this CRT here that has the ability to play Pokemon on repeat all day long. There's just something nostalgic to me about seeing my favorite TV show on an old TV, like the kind that I used growing up. Now, this has a DVD drive in it, which is not what I had growing up. It hadn't been invented yet, but it's really convenient to just play a DVD on repeat all day. So we got a VCR underneath that for whenever I want to play videotapes in here as well. And then we've got my handheld collection. So, man, I don't even know if I want to go into detail on everything, but I've got all of my handhelds here. I've got my Game Boy Brick, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color, DS's, 3DS's. I've got all 4 of the Pokemon 20th anniversary 2DS's from Japan back there, green, red, yellow, blue. This pouch contains my cables for my Game Boy if I ever need to make trades or anything like that. Got my PlayStation Vita. This is fun. This is not a handheld console, obviously, but this is actually the very first camera I ever had, this one right here. I got this for Christmas in 2006. This is what I used to make my very first videos and helped me to become the YouTuber I am today. Next shelf, we've got some more collectibles here. So, we've got the more Pokeballs. Got my Pokemon 2DS XL that I got after seeing Pokemon I Choose You in theaters. This is a Pokemon video game that teaches you to play the trading card game, released in Japan. Got some other random Japanese Pokemon games here. TCG2, Pokemon Green in box. Got a sealed copy of this Pokemon Game Boy Advance video. Yeah, this is where all of my Japanese complete in box games are, as well as you can see back here, my currently only Virtual Boy game. I do not have a Virtual Boy because they're expensive, but when I get one, I have a game to play on it. So bottom shelf here these are my boxed N64 games. As I've said, I have every Pokemon game, and then I also have the Powerpuff Girls game because I love the Powerpuff Girls. It's the only other game in box I have. We got my big books, so the complete Virtual Boy, the NES Classics book, all of the Switch Collector books, and I actually am in these books. I helped to contribute to them, and looks like I bookmarked myself, so if you were to get these books, you would find me inside.
Oh, the glare is horrendous.
Glare is horrendous. I love having uncontrolled lighting, don't you? Anyway, so that's what those books are. And then we have my Pokemon collection, my card collection. So this binder here is an OG binder. Man, I love this thing. I did not own this one growing up, but all my friends did, it felt. So when I was old enough to get my own, I did. And this binder contains all of my cards from generations 1 through 5. And, you know, it may look complete at first glance, but then you start going and you find the holes. And eventually I hope to have a complete Pokédex of Pokemon, but it is a slow process, and I actually haven't contributed to this in over a year. But it is a goal. So this one is generations 1 through 5, and this next one is generations 6 through 9. And there's enough room here that I'll be able to get up to 10 as well. This is a fun process. I loved collecting Pokemon cards back in the day, and now having a much simpler, more reasonable goal has made it fun to collect again. So I believe that these cards only go up through whatever the, yeah, they only go up through Ride-On, Me Ride-On. Then at the back here are my Disney Lorcana cards. As you can see, I don't have many. But yeah, this is a long-term goal. I do have over half of all Pokemon. And I'm not going to bother because I already made a video about it, but these 3 binders here are my Helioptile cards. I have over 1,800. And then these 3 binders here are my wife's Pokemon cards. So all the most important cards are here, readily accessible. It's great. Next up above this shelf is this beautiful painting by Tyler Hepner You guys need to look him up because he makes some amazing video game art. This looks official, but it's not. This is just some really good fan-made art of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and this predates the game itself. I saw him post this. I had to have a copy. Here it is, proud center in my room. Can you tell I love Final Fantasy VII? Anyway, next up are, well, up here at the top are some more big box collector's editions. So this is a collector's edition of If My Heart Had Wings on PC. I found this when I was in Japan. If My Heart Had Wings is a visual novel and it's one of my top 5 favorite video games of all time. So I can't believe I found this in the wild when I was in Japan, not even looking for it. And I had to put it here just so I could show people it's one of my favorite games. I've got a big box here for Zhanyan's Sword, The Mist Beyond the Mountains, a big box collector's edition of Shantae and the Seven Sirens. These are probably my 3 favorite collector's editions that I have. And below that are all of my East Asia Soft games. I am an employee of East Asia Soft. I stream on their Twitch channel 3 days a week, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. And I own every single one of their games physically, or at least I did until Hong Kong stopped shipping stuff to the United States. Technically, there's still a pile of games over there in the offices ready to send me whenever they can ship it. We just don't know when that's going to be. But yeah, this is my East Asia Soft shelf. Beside that are my Zootopia pop vinyls. I own every single one, 5 from the first film, 6 from the second. If you guys couldn't tell, Zootopia is my favorite movie of all time. Or at least it used to be until the release of Zootopia 2. So now Zootopia 2 is my favorite, but I still love Zootopia. How much do I love Zootopia? Well, if you guys haven't seen it yet, the next shelf should show you, because this shelf is my collection of Zootopia on home video. So I have over 100 copies of Zootopia, if you can believe it. I love this so much. It was my favorite movie, as I said. It's fun to collect all these different versions of it from different areas of the world. Anyway, I have so many videos talking about this, there's not much of a point. And, well, actually, let me show this off. So this is a Zootopia 2 popcorn bucket that was given to me for Christmas by a friend. And eventually, I'm going to have a second shelf here for my Zootopia 2 home video collection, and that popcorn bucket will be on top of it. Until that happens, it just sort of sits there on the floor. And I believe this right here is the final thing to talk about. This top shelf is my absolute favorite graded video games. So my top 5 favorite video games of all time are here, graded so everyone can see. So my favorite video game of all time is Pokemon Silver version for the Game Boy. Silver specifically, not Gold, not Crystal. I love this game. I love Pokemon, and this is my favorite Pokemon game. Among the other favorite games here include Final Fantasy VII Remake, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, If My Heart Had Wings, the visual novel I was telling you about, and then the other one to round out the top 5 is Splatoon, which is over here in the back. And then all the other ones here are also important to me for various other reasons. So as well as Remake, I also have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. If Part 3 is as good as these two, then I would consider the trilogy as a single game to be my favorite game of all time. We'll have to wait and see. I've got my Steelbook for Rebirth here in the back. I keep this here just because it's a CGC 10, and if you know anything about grading, that's almost impossible to get. What else have I got here? I've got Pokemon Scarlet, which was the very first game I ever graded, and I love Scarlet and Violet, I really do. Behind that is Final Fantasy 16, which is my wife's favorite game. Actually, no, this is her second favorite game after Pokemon Legends Arceus, which is over there in the other shelf. And then the back shelf here are other graded things that are for very specific reasons. So this right here is Sword and Fairy Together Forever. And this is sentimental to me because this was the very first video game where my name appeared in the credits. I rolled credits, I saw my name, and I was blown away. So I had to get a copy of that so I would always be able to remember, oh, that was the first game I ever appeared in. I've appeared in other games, I've been credited in other games since then, and I plan on getting those graded. It's just not a priority. Next up is a graded copy of Zootopia. You might have seen this on the other shelf. I grade movies sometimes and put it where you need it.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, I grade movies sometimes when it's super sentimental to me. Zootopia, again, for the longest time, was my favorite movie of all time, and I just wanted to get a copy of it so that I would always have one brand new. And finally, this one is exciting to me. This is a graded movie again. This is In the Lone Star Wars State. Put it where you need it. Good enough?
Yeah.
This is a documentary film about the Star Wars fandom in the state of Texas, and I was one of the interviewees. So I have in the rear shelf, essentially, I have my favorite movie, the first movie I ever appeared in, and the first video game that I ever appeared in. So that's why I grade stuff, is because it has sentimental value to me. My favorite video games, my favorite movies, games and movies that I am in and thus mean something to me. That's why I do it. And you know what? I think that finishes it up. We've been going for so long now that this DVD is almost at the end of the episode that it's at. So I think we're just going to wrap it up here. So hope everyone liked my game room tour. I know this was long. I know that I was long-winded, but I love talking about my stuff, and if you made it here to the end, thank you so much. As I've said throughout this video, I have a lot more collections that I'll be showing off in the future throughout 2026 here on my channel, so I hope that you tune in, like, subscribe, all that stuff. So that'll bring this video to an end. Thank you to my wife for holding the camera. Love you so much. And thank you to all of you for watching. Thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for more.